Hello everyone, I am Muhammad Kamran Halil from YouTube channel The Physics Gurus. So students, today we will discuss the specimen paper for the 5054/01 for the examination from 2023. So we will go through for this paper and let we start that this how to solve this specimen paper. So for question number 1, a small cylinder is rolled along a ruler and it completes two full turns as shown in the diagram. So what is the circumference of the cylinder? So this is required that what is this distance? This is the circumference of the circle. Now it starts from this position and then it ends at this position and it will take two full turns. So it means that first of all we will calculate the distance. So this distance is 10.2 while the other distance is 1.4. So we will subtract these two distance and then we will get 8.8. It has completed two rotations. So for one rotation, which is the circumference of this, we will get answer 4.4. So for question number 1, option A is the correct option. Now this question is related with the head to tail rule, the resolution of the vector. So for that, what we have to do, we have to look for the diagram which has the combination like this: tail, head, then the next vector should be attached in such a way that it will have tail, then head, and after that the resultant vector will be from tail up to head. So if we will observe all these, then 4 Newton and 3 Newton, the option A is the correct option. While for option B, so you have to remember that for option B, the resultant force is 0 Newton because it is making a closed triangle which is like this. So when the resultant force is in the opposite direction of the original direction of the resultant force, then the resultant force will be 0. So option A is the correct option. The diagram shows the graph for an object moving with constant acceleration. So what is the distance traveled in the first 4 seconds? So this area is the area of the triangle. So 1 by 2, 4 into 6. So then we will get 12. 6 2 and 6 2 means 12 meter. So for this question, option C is the valid option. For question number 4, an astronaut travels to Mars. Which row describes how his mass and his weight compare with their size on the Earth? Okay, so the mass will always remain same because mass is the measure of the amount of the substance, while the weight will depend on the gravity. So W equal to mg. So weight will be different because the gravity on the mass is different as compared to the gravity on the surface of Earth. So mass will remain same while the gravity or the weight will be different. So for question number 4, option C is the valid option. Now question number 5. He is saying that which has the largest resultant force. Now 30 Newton and 20 Newton in the opposite direction. So 10 Newton will be the resultant force for this, and 20 Newton and 10 Newton means that 10 Newton will be the resultant force on this, and now 10 Newton and the other one is the 30 Newton. So 20 Newton is the force which is acting on the left hand side, while in this the resultant force is always related with the forces which will act in the opposite direction. So for question number 5, option C is the valid option because the resultant force acting is the greatest in this. While if you will talk about the option D, in option D you can see that all the forces are acting in the same direction. So it will be the resultant force 15 Newton. So if you will go through for this 10 Newton, then 20 Newton, 10 Newton will be the resultant. For this the 50 Newton is the resultant and the 20 Newton is the resultant. So option C is the valid option. Now this question is related with the Newton's third law of motion, which says that every action has a reaction, same in magnitude but opposite in direction. So the forward force is 1600 Newton, so it means that the backward force will be 1600 Newton. That is the easiest question for question number 6. Now question number 7. Uh, he is moving with the terminal velocity. So terminal velocity means that when the weight acting in downward direction is equal to the air resistance acting in upward direction, then resultant force is zero, the acceleration is zero, object will move with constant velocity. So if you have all these key points in your mind, so then you can easily see that the correct option is the option C. The acceleration is zero and velocity of the skydiver is constant. So, which car experiences a resultant force that is not a zero? He is moving on a straight line with a constant speed, so forces are balanced. Then it is moving with the constant bending around the corner, unbalanced force. So, unbalanced mean that resultant force is not zero. While let we check the other constant velocity, forces are balanced, rest mean forces are balanced. So option B, because whenever it will turn around the corner, there is change in the direction. Change in direction is the change in velocity. So it means that there is a resultant force which is acting towards the center of the circle, which is a centripetal force. Okay, the car is designed to be stable. Where must the center of gravity of the car be? Have you ever observed that the height of the racing car is always kept low? What is the reason? The reason, because in the racing car, the height is kept low to lower down the center of gravity near to the earth, near to the ground. So, as low as in the car as possible will be the correct option. For question number 9, option D is the valid option. Now, for question number 10, the diagram shows a block being pulled up by a rope. The force is applied on this direction while the weight is acting in this direction. The block moves distance PR in the direction of applied force. So this is the distance P and R while we are applying force in this direction. He is saying that what is the value of the work done. So work done is the product of the force and the distance traveled in the direction of applied force. So the correct answer is for question number 10 will be option A, because the distance we have already figured out in the diagram is PR. Now question number 11, non-renewable energy sources. Geothermal is the renewable energy source. Solar power is the renewable energy source. Wind turbine renewable, and only the non-renewable in the given option is nuclear power station. So, question, which expression gives the efficiency of an AC generator? Always remember that the generator will give you the electrical output. So, electrical output. So, total energy input and the electrical energy output will be the correct option. The easiest one, that mercury is a liquid. The diagram shows the mercury barometer, which height is measured to measure the atmospheric pressure. So always remember that. So from this point up to this meniscus, so this distance will give you the value of the atmospheric pressure. So option C is the valid option. Now for question number 14, a gas is sealed in a container at a constant volume. The gas is heated and the pressure of the gas will increase. So when the temperature will increase, the kinetic energy of the particle will increase. They will hit with the walls of the container more frequently, which result in the increase in pressure. So for question number 14, the correct option is more frequently. They will hit with the container with more frequently. Always remember one thing, that when the particle will hit with each other, it means that they will not create a pressure. In order to create a pressure, they have to hit with the walls of the container. Another repeated question from the past paper, that the lid is very tight. So what we will do, we will place it under the hot water. That what will happen, the metal lid will expand because it will absorb heat energy directly from the water, so it will expand and the lid will open. The lid will expand. For 15, option D is the valid option. Now question number 16. The more energetic particle will escape from the surfaces related with the evaporation. Question number 17. This is a technical question. So now he is saying that the depth of the sea under a ship is determined by sending a pulse of a sound with the frequency of this with the transmitter and to the seabed. The sound reflect from the seabed and return to receive. Now, whenever we will talk about this, there is an echo reflection 2d by t. So another information is given that the depth of the sea is 600 meter and the time at this point 8. He is saying calculate the wavelength. So V equal to F lambda and lambda that is equal to V over F. But we don't have the value of V. So first we will calculate the value of V. So now we can take the distance which is equal to 600 meter and the time. Now the time which is given in this is the time for moving towards and coming back. So we will divide this time into two equal intervals, so 0.4. So then we will get the speed of the sound waves in water is 1500 meter per second. Now we will substitute it over here. So 1500 over 3000. Then it will give you the value which is equal to the 1500 over 3000. The answer is for question number 7 is option C, 1 by 2 and 1 by 2 is 0.5 meter. Question number 18, a good question, very good question. So this is 80, the total one, it means that this is 40 and now the angle of reflection and angle of incidence will be 50. So you will do that question by drawing the values. So for question number 18, the angle of incidence is 50 and angle of reflection is also 50. Now this question is related with the diverging lens. Why it is diverging? Because the ray is moving out of the. So now what we will do, we will increase this line in backward direction and then you can observe that it is cutting point P. So this is the value which we are required, which is the principal focus point P, and the image form will be at this point. So the property of this image will be, it is a virtual, it is upright, and it is diminished. So now the correct answer for question number 19 is at point P and it is a virtual. So option B is the valid option. A sound wave travels through air. The lines of the diagram show the position of the particle of the air at one particular time, which distance is the wavelength. So distance between two consecutive compression or rarefaction, or now if we will observe that point A is starting from the compression but it is not ending at the compression, so it is a rarefaction and now it is rarefaction. Now these two distance will give you the wavelength because wavelength is the distance between two consecutive compression or two consecutive rarefaction. So question number 21, the electromagnet shown in the diagram, how can the strength of the magnetic field be increased? Now in order to increase the magnetic field, increase the number of turn in the coil, increase the power supply, decrease the resistance according to this so that the current will be more. Remove the metal core and decrease the current. No. Remove the metal core and keep the current constant. So in order to increase, we have to increase the current. Reverse the direction of power supply and decrease the current. No, only this option is by reversing the direction of the power supply. Nothing will happen to the electromagnet and increase the current. So by increasing the current, the strength of the electromagnet will be increased. Which material is used for the temporary magnet? So a very simple and straightforward option is question number 22. Option B is the correct option. Now question number 23. The diagram shows an unchanged ball covered with metallic paint. The ball is suspended from an insulating thread. It is placed near a positively charged rod. Now this is a positive charged rod, so it means that that there will be the negative charge on it, 1, 2, 3, 4, and there will be positive on the other side. So this alignment will be represented by option D, a very easy question. For question number 23, option D is the valid option. Now he is saying that what is the value of the current? So I that is equal to Q by T. The value of charge is 45. The time is 3 into 60 because time is given in minutes. So it should be converted into seconds. So when you will calculate this, so then you will get the answer 0.25 ampere. So option A is the valid option. Now he is saying that wire of length. Resistance depend on two factors. Resistance is directly proportional length. Now, first of all, zero point 0.5 and the resistance is 0.75. Now, when we will 4 times increase the length, the resistance will also increase 4 times. So, first of all, we will take care of length. So, 0.75 multiplied by 4, then we will get 3.0 ohm. Now, the cross-sectional area will be half. And we know that resistance and cross-sectional area are inversely proportional. So, if we will have the value of the cross-sectional area, then the resistance will be double. So, it will be double of the 3.0, which is 6 ohm. Which electrical symbol represent the fuse? A very straightforward answer. This is electric motor. This will represent the lamp. This is represent the LED because it is emitting the light. For question number 27, three identical resistors are joined in a series to battery. So the voltmeter reading will give you 8 volt. This voltmeter is reading. So it means the resistance are identical. So 4 volt will be over here. So 4 volt will be over here. And he is saying that what is the value of the reading? Because all these resistance are identical. So it means that now it will also the 4 volt and the total will be 4 plus 4 plus 4 give you 12 volt. So the EMF will be 12 volt and reading will be 4 volt on the voltmeter P. So option D is the valid option. The EMF of the battery is 3 volt, resistance is this, energy transfer in 30 minutes. So we will use the formula E that is equal to V square over R into T. So the value after substituting 3 square into 30 into 60 over 6. So then we will get for this question 2700 joule will be the answer of this question. Question number 29. Ampere is the unit for the current, volt is the PD, watt is the power. So for energy, the unit is kilowatt hour. The other unit of energy is joule. The kilowatt hour is used for the large quantity of energy for the electrical appliances, for large quantity. Now moving towards the question number 30, that a magnet will oscillate vertically above a coil of a wire. The magnet will move in and out, and then it will reach this point. At R, it will stop. And when again it will reach at point P, it will again stop. So whenever the magnet will stop, it means there is no change in the magnetic flux. So the induced EMF will be zero. So he is saying that when the induced EMF will be zero, so at point or at point at point P or at point R, the induced EMF will be maximum at Q. The reason, because at that point the magnet will move with the maximum speed from the main position. Now 31, a straightforward question. Which diagram will represent the largest output as compared to the input? Now remember one thing, the transformer never work on DC input. There should be change in magnetic flux. So now for this transformer, it is the step up transformer. So this is the correct option which we are looking for. While the other transformer is the step down transformer. Question number 32. The relay is used in order to switch on the smaller circuit by switch on the larger circuit automatically by switching on the smaller circuit. The best example is the car ignition switch and the engine. So car ignition switch will be on, which will automatically switch on the engine, which required more current. To switch on a larger current using a larger current, no, to switch on the larger current using a small current. So that is a automation system. So you can apply the Rutherford-Fleming right hand. rule, or you can change the direction of the electron beam to the conventional current and then apply the Fleming left hand rule. So when you will apply this, you will get that your thumb will move out of the page. For 33, option B is the valid option. 34, the easiest one, is saying that how many neutrons are over there? So 84 minus 36. So for question number 34, the answer will be 48. So this is the correct option. He is saying that carbon 14 and 14, nitrogen 14 represent the nuclide of the neutral atom. So how they it will be differ from that value? So you can see that 14 minus 7 will give you the number of proton 7, and 14 minus 6, it will give you the value which is equal to the 14 minus 7 7, and 14 minus 6 give you 8. uh, okay. These are the number of the neutrons. So number of neutrons, one electron, few one, no, it has two more neutrons, so this option is not valid. The nitrogen atom has one electron fewer than the carbon. Now if we will look at this, that the proton for the nitrogen is 7 and proton for the carbon is 6, so nitrogen has one more proton, so option D is the valid option. The next question is related with the radioactivity. So for the radioactivity, the alpha particle has the greatest value of the ionization, followed by the beta particle, and gamma rays has the least ionization power. Which statement about the half-life of the radioisotope is correct? Half-life is the time, no, it can never ever decrease to zero. So decrease to zero. So half-life is the time for the number of the nuclei of the isotope to become half. So for 37, option D is the valid option. Now these are the two questions. Question number 38, that is related with the syllabus which has changed. So when we will go through for that topic, then I will upload the solution of these two questions for question number 38 and 40 as well. Because for the upcoming paper for the July and August series, these two topics will be not asked related with the astronomy. And the last question, in the sun, energy is transferred from energy store. Which energy? For the sun, there is the nuclear reaction, and sun and star, the nuclear reaction is related with the nuclear fusion. So stay tuned for more videos related with the complete solution of the past paper. Take care. Bye bye.